fellow hackers and pen testing enthusiasts, welcome back to my channel. This is your host Anya, and if you watch my latest video from last week covering the over-the-wire solutions to the web hacking challenge Natas, well, that video was intended to cover levels 0 through 5, and well, my mistake, I did not include my segment for levels 1 to 2, so today I've got quite a secret for you. I'm dropping a hidden chapter right now where we'll tackle levels 1 to 2 of Natas using not 1, not 2, but 3 different methods to solve the challenge. So this level should have been in my last series, but it's kind of fun to consider it a standalone bonus level. And we'll use a browser, curl, and a bash method to solve this level. So let's just get right into it. We're here on Natas level 1 to level 2, and we have the username Natas2 as well as the URL, which is just Natas2 on the natas.labs.overthewire.org host server. So we're first going to go with the simplest solution, which will be logging in via the browser and then looking for our password or context clues to solve the level. So actually, I'm going to open this URL in an incognito page. Not. Paste the URL in. Alright, so we already know the username is Natas2. Also grab your Natas2 password that you got from the previous level, and we're going to enter into the panel. Natas2 is our username, and that full string that you got from the previous level into the password field. Sign in, and we'll see what we get. Alright, so once we sign in, we're redirected to the index.html page. We get nothing is on this page. Let's take a little bit of a look around and view the page source. You always want to view the page source. Let's enlarge this. Pretty typical stuff here. You see, again, there's a div where we have the text. There's nothing on this page. And here, this image that's referenced is files/pixel.png. So what we should do is go up here to the web URL, and let's take a look at the files directory. We're not going to go to the pixel.png, just files. Okay, so here's the subdirectory. You'll click on pixel.png. Some reason this is not loading for me. I think it's literally just this pixel, so not much. Let's hit the back button. And here's something a little bit more promising. Users.txt. Click there. And there we go. Here's the username and password combo for Natas3. Now that we've done the browser solution, let's do a curl solution for Natas level 1 to level 2. So remember, curl is a command line tool that allows us to generate web requests from the terminal. We're first going to copy this web URL for Natas2 and flip over the terminal and just run curl and see what we get. Alright, so this should be familiar to you, especially if you've seen my prior series. We get the 401 unauthorized error here, and that's simply because we didn't pass on any sort of credentials to the server. Let's go ahead and do that. And to pass credentials, so a username and password, we're going to use the -u or -u flag with curl. Then go ahead and enter in Natas2 as the username, followed by the Natas2 password, which you would have gotten in the prior level. Copy and paste that. hit enter, this will look very familiar from the browser solution. There's nothing on this page, but we do see reference to this files directory with a pixel.png image. Let's clear the terminal. And here, let's visit the files directory. I hope you can see that on my terminal. I hope I'm not covering the full thing, but I'm just adding /files to the end of the URL. And once we go to the files directory, we get the index of files. And so you can just see how it's done here in the command line. You can actually see the HTML. Here's a header with h1, index of files. And we go a little further down, we see reference to the parent directory, the pixel.png image file, and then a users.txt document. So that's the next thing we're going to take a look at. Users.txt. And there we go. Same deal as with the browser. We get Alice, Bob, Charlie, Eve, and Mallory's password along with our Natas 3 username and password combo. I'm going to give you some bonus solutions that are scripted in Python. One more time, we'll flip back to the terminal and start scripting out our solutions. So what we'll do is create our Python scripts. We'll call this Natas python.py. And then we want to actually edit the script. First, import requests. And we'll set a few variables in our Python script. The username, as of course, Natas2. We're also going to create a password variable. Sorry, my typing's a little shit because I have a new keyboard and it's very different. Anyway, here in the password field, we're going to set the password variable, of course, to the Natas2 password that we picked up in the prior level. So this is the same thing we've been using for all of our challenges, the browser, curl, etc. We should also make sure to encase these in singular quotations or scare quotes. Not sure how you'd refer to those. Now we're going to actually enter the URL, since we'll have to send an authentication request and authenticate with the server. So the URL, of course, would be HTTP. Make sure it's Natas2. Just copy it in. We'll fix this up a little bit. Now, once we've set the actual variables that we need, the username, the password, and the URL, we want to send a GET request to the URL providing our credentials. We're just going to title this response. And we'll set it equal to a GET. It's going to be a GET request, so it'll be request.get. And what we want to do is reference the URL variable, as well as verify that it is an auth request, and we're going to set this equal to our two variables, our two other variables, username and password. So again, we're sending the GET request and the script will authenticate the Natas level 2 page using basic HTTP authentication. So this line here, where we clarify where auth is username and password, will perform basic authentication using our credentials. Remember to close this off. And lastly, we want to print the results and the response we get from the server. So this will be in, let's just do response.text. And there we go. We have all the elements for our first script. Save your work, exit, and now just run the Python script. You may need to do Python 3 or Python. You can run which Python to figure out what you need to do to run this script. But this will look familiar to you, especially the curl solution. As you'll see, it's basically identical once you get the results. So there's no info on this page, there's nothing on this page, but we do have access to the files directory. So let's go back in to our script and edit again. Now that we have our solution, all we're going to do is change this URL path and update it so that it references the files directory. Run it again. And here we go. Again, very similar, the same exact output we've gotten with curl, and very similar as to the browser. Just looks a little bit different in terminal always. Reference to the parent directory, reference to the pixel.png image, and then the users.txt. So we're going to go in, now that we know the reference for users.txt, we're going to edit the Python script one more time. And this time, now that we have that clue for users.txt, all we're going to do is now edit this URL and include users.txt. So exit and save your work. And one more time, run the Python script. And here we go. Same output yet again, but we've done it with Python scripting, and here is our password and username combo. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in to this special missing segment covering OverTheWire Natas series. So now we've finally tackled levels 1 to 2 in Natas with 3 different solutions: Python scripting, curl, and just with the browser. So I will be completing the rest of Natas in subsequent weeks, and I will go all the way up to level 34. Look out for that solution guide, and in the meantime, don't forget to hit the like, the subscribe, the bell notification, and if you want, leave a comment down in the comment section below. Alright guys, this has been your host Anya, and as always, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Wherever you are in the world, happy hacking.